So guys, here we come with the second chapter, which is basics term of accounting, basic accounting terms, right? So first accounting term is called books of accounts. Do you recollect this word somewhere I used in chapter number 1?
Yes, sir.
Right, I said you that we have to open sales account, we open purchase account, then we'll open expense account, we'll open let's say cash account. We open so many accounts. All these accounts put together is called books of accounts, because in olden days accounting was maintained in books. Today we are maintaining in system. So earlier days we we used to maintain manual books, so that is why it is called as books of accounts. It is set of book where there will be so many accounts. So the place where the financial transaction of the business entity is recorded is called books of accounts. Any doubt in the first point? Okay, next comes the very important term. It is called cash transaction. Cash transaction means what? Any thing happening, any activity is happening between two people is called transaction. And what is the activity? The activity is cash. If cash is being exchanged between two parties, it is called cash transaction. So what do you mean by this cash transaction? Transaction which involves immediate cash receipt or immediate cash payment. For example, I am a businessman. So businessman will sell goods to customer.
Yes,
I will
sir.
sell my goods to customer. So when I sell the goods, will customer take the goods and go off, or in return they have to pay me cash?
We have to pay.
They have to pay cash. So I'm giving goods. Ek haath se I'm giving goods, and in another hand I'm taking cash. So can I say in this transaction that it is involving immediate cash receipt? Can I say business is immediately receiving the cash?
Sir.
So this transaction is called cash receipt. Just a second. So when I sell goods, immediately when I take cash, it is called cash transaction because I'm receiving cash immediately. Another example, I'm a businessman. To sell these goods, can I say I need to first purchase it from my supplier?
Sir.
So my supplier is giving me goods. I am purchasing goods. I am purchasing goods. When I purchase goods, when business purchase goods, can I say business have to immediately pay cash? Pay cash. Immediately pay cash. So when I purchase goods and immediately pay cash, it is called as cash payment, immediate cash payment. So whenever in any transaction, cash receiving or cash payment is happening along with the goods, along with the purchase and sales, it is called cash transaction. If this is clear, I'll go to the next point.
Yes.
Next is credit transaction. What is credit transaction? Same businessman is selling the goods, but the customer is not paying the cash now. He's telling the cash I'll pay in future. So credit transaction means transaction where cash receipt or cash payment are not paid immediately, or not paid or not received immediately, but will be paid or received at a later date. Not paid or received immediately. In this case, what is happening? Business is giving goods to the customer, but customer is not giving the payment now. You will give me payment after 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, whatever we are agreeing. So this kind of transaction is called credit transaction. Similarly, I am buying goods from the supplier. Supplier gave me the goods, but I did not pay the cash to him now. I'm telling that supplier, I'll make the payment after 1 month. So this transaction where I'm buying the goods, this transaction is called credit purchase. This is called credit sales. This is called credit purchase. Credit means what? Where sales and purchase have taken place without exchange of money. This is called credit transactions. Any doubt? Yes, please.
Sir, if the customer pays advance 40 or 50%, sir, and at later stage he pays, then what will that will be called?
So you're telling that, sir, I am selling now. In that, customer is paying 40% advance now, or 40% now, and remaining 60% you will pay at later date. So to the extent of 40%, you will have to calculate the amount. Let's say my value is 1 lakh rupees, the sale value. So 40% means 40,000 rupees. This 40,000 is my cash transaction, and this 60,000 rupees balance is my credit transaction. So in same transaction, in one transaction, there can be both cash and credit involved. Possible, not possible? It is 100% possible. Is your query answered?
Possible.
Nikhil, is your query answered?
Can you repeat, sir?
So I said that I'm selling for 1 lakh rupees. So customer has to pay me 1 lakh. I sold a laptop for 1 lakh rupees. Customer is supposed to pay me 1 lakh. He's paying only 40%. 40% means what? 40,000. He's paying me only 40,000 and remaining 60,000 he's telling that I'll pay after 1 month. So to the extent of this 40,000, the money I'm receiving, right? This is called cash transaction. Remaining 60,000, since I'm receiving money later, this 60,000 is called credit transaction.
Yes, sir.
Point clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now let's go to the next point, which is called purchase. What is the meaning of purchase? Purchase means
Buying of
buying goods. Buying goods is purchase, but every buying goods is not purchase, because if you want to buy something and if you want to record it as purchase, then your intention should be resale. If you're buying something and your intention is not to resell but to use it, that will be your either fixed asset or expense. I repeat. So if you're buying something, everything you buy does not mean purchase. For it to be recorded in purchase account, the intention for that purchase should be resale. If I'm buying laptop for selling it, then I'll record that purchase in the purchase account. If I'm buying the laptop with the intention to use it, I will not put in the purchase account. So buying the goods with the intention to resale or manufacture or manufacturing. For example, I'm purchasing for making the laptop. Can I say I need screen? Let me come in the whiteboard. To make or manufacture laptop, I need to buy certain things. For example, I need screen. I need, let's suppose, what you call buttons. I need, let's say, circuit board. Right? All this thing will be qualified as purchase. I will, whenever I'm buying screen, when I'm buying button or circuit board, I will put under purchase account if I am using this for manufacturing the laptop. So in purchase account, I will record two things. Anything which I'm buying with the intention to resell. If I'm buying a laptop and I'm buying the laptop with the intention to resell, only then buying of laptop will be recorded in purchase account. Number one. Second, if I'm buying raw materials, so this screen, button and circuit board is technically called as raw material. Raw material, because this raw material is used in the manufacturing of the laptop. So this raw material will be recorded in this purchase account only if I manufacture. If I'm using this, if I'm directly using this for my own purpose, then I will not record in purchase account. So for me to record anything in purchase, first and foremost thing is my intention should be resell, or whatever I'm buying, I should use in manufacturing. If I'm not reselling, if I'm not using in manufacturing, apart from that, I'm using for the business. If I'm using for the business, then it will be either asset, fixed asset or expense. If I'm buying any purchase, I'm doing purchasing anything, let's say laptop, I'm using it, then it will be either fixed asset or expense. I'll give you one better example. Furniture shop. Furniture guy is purchasing furniture. What do you think his intention will be? This purchasing furniture. Intention, can I say it will be for selling? Intention is to sell. So then this purchase of furniture will be recorded in purchase account. I'm a furniture dealer. A furniture dealer, if he's buying furniture, if he's purchasing furniture, since his intention is to resell, he can record this purchase and purchase account. But let's talk about not furniture dealer. Let's talk about Fortune's Fun Learning Academy. Fortune's Fun Learning Academy. is buying furniture, is purchasing furniture, is purchasing furniture. What is my intention?
Resell.
Is my so Fortune's Fund Learning Academy is buying the for purchasing the furniture to resell. Will I buy the furniture? Furniture means what? For you all to sit in my academy, I'm purchasing chair, table, everything. What is my intention? Am I reselling that or am I using it?
Are
Using for the development of the business.
Yes, sir.
So this purchase of furniture, you will not record in purchase account. You will record in asset account. What is meaning of asset? We'll learn. So can you see, same furniture, I'm classifying in purchase account if the intention is to resell, or else if I'm using it, I'll record in asset or expense. Asset or expense account. When asset will come, when expense will come, that is what we are going to study in accounts. Are you satisfied now?
Yes, sir.
So purchase means buying the goods with the intention to resell or using it in the manufacturing. I'm using not for my own business. I'm using for the manufacturing. I'm using for the development of the product. So this is purchase. So whom can you purchase? Goods will be purchased from supplier or vendor.
supplier.
Supplier, no, both are the same. Supplier and vendor. So supplier's another nickname is vendor. So goods will be purchased. The person from whom I'm buying the goods is called supplier or vendor, or in accounting we call it as creditor also. Creditor. So when I'm buying the goods from the supplier, and if I'm not making the payment, if I'm making the payment later, then the supplier you will call as creditor. It is called as creditor. Please mark this word, very, very important. Though I will be explaining this point a little later in the third page. This is the first page of second chapter. In third page, we'll discuss about creditors. So I'm just giving you an idea. So if I am purchasing the goods from the supplier and vendor on credit basis, which means I'm buying the goods now, but I did not make the payment, then the supplier will be named as creditor in accounts. What is it called as?
Creditor.
Creditor. Super. Okay. Purchase is of two types. One is cash purchase. It can be, second is credit purchase. Two type of purchases. Purchases can be of two categories. One is goods and second is raw material. What is raw material? I explained you. Raw material is item which is used in manufacturing. What example I gave you? Screen,
Laptop.
buttons, yeah, and circuit board and all. This is all raw material. What is goods? Laptop is goods. If I'm buying laptop and selling laptop, the laptop is goods. Then what is raw material? The items which is used inside the laptop is called raw materials. So what is goods? Goods is basically, it's a physical item. You can touch it, which is purchased with intention to resell. So goods means what? Laptop, buying with the intention to resell. What is raw material? Raw material is also physical item, but it is used in the manufacturing of the goods and product. What is goods and product? Laptop. So if I want to manufacture laptop, I need to buy the raw materials and put into it and assemble it in such a way that it becomes a laptop. Can I say raw material when I buy, the identity is button is got separate identity, what do you call, screen is got separate identity. When I make it into a laptop, when you go to shop, do you tell, okay, give me one screen, give me 25 buttons, give me 2 motherboard? Do you tell that or do you call it as laptop? When I go to shop, if I want to buy laptop, will you say, please give me one laptop? Or will you say, please give me that one screen is there? No. And in that 30-40 buttons are there. In that 1-2 circuit boards are there. Give me that. Will you tell that or will you tell the name of the product?
Laptop.
So this is called goods. Goods means the final finished product. Are you able to feel the difference?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt so far? Logically going inside your mind, or you're just by hearting what I'm saying?
No, sir. Logically.
Makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Next is purchase return. When the goods bought are returned to the supplier. So what is happening is, business earlier purchased the goods. I purchased goods from the supplier. After that, I'm returning back to him. Reason can be anything. Maybe he sent the goods which I did not ask, so I'm returning back. Or else he sent some goods which I did not like the quality. The quality is not good, I'm sending back. Maybe the goods what he sent was damaged, so I'm sending back. So when the goods is coming inside the business, it is called purchase. This is one transaction. When goods are being sold, returned back, not sold. When it is goods are returned back, it is called purchase return. So when goods bought are returned to the supplier, it's called purchase return. This is a separate transaction. You open a separate account for this to know that during the year how much you have purchased and how much you have returned. So there are two separate accounts. Purchase account is separate. Purchase return account is separate. Purchase return is also called as return outward. Now please tell me, if the businessman is returning the goods, whether goods are coming in or going out.
Going out.
So it is return outward. So return outward is from whose angle? Accounting we do from whose angle? From business angle. Accounting is done for business only. No, we don't think from supplier's angle. So for business, when purchase return is happening, return is going outward. I'm returning the goods which is going outward. It is called return outward. A lot of people, they get confused. Return outward means I don't know what it is. Very simple. Return outward means logically what? From business, goods are returning out. It is going out. So it is called return outward. Is it making sense? Any doubts in purchase return point?
Yes, sir.
Kushal, Nikhil, both of you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Ayush and Nikhil. Sorry.
Come.
Comfortable. Next is sale. What is sales account? Sales account means the goods which you purchase with the intention to resell are now sold. When goods meant for resale are sold. So whenever I sell any goods to customer, that I record in sales account. When I purchase, I record in purchase account. When I sell the laptop, I record in sales account. So where goods meant for resale, goods meant for resale are sold to customers. It's called sales. Sales is again two types: cash sales and credit sales. Cash sales means what? When I'm giving goods to the customer and customer is immediately giving me cash or check. It's called cash sales. If I'm giving the goods now, but the payment is happening after few days, then it's called credit sales. Any doubts in this point?
Sir.
Any doubts in first 2 points? No doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Ayush? Can we go to the next topic? I mean, next
Yes, sir.
point. Next point. Yes. Sales return. Sales return. When goods are sold to whom? Customer. Are returned by customer. So businessman is selling goods to customer. Customer is returning because he did not like it, or is returning because that is damaged, or the quality is not good. So when goods sold are returned by whom? By customer. It's called sales return. Sales return is known as return inward. So when the customer is returning, goods is coming inside the business or going outside the business?
Inside.
So that is why it is called return inward. Return is coming inward the business, inside the business. That is called sales return. Point clear?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of expense? Expense means cost incurred to earn income. What is expense? Everything that you pay is not expense. Look at the word. It is called cost incurred. Cost incurred to earn the income. Which means to earn the income, to earn this income, if you are incurring any cost, incurring is different, payment is different. Okay. So for example, let's suppose that to earn the income of 5 lakh rupees, I incurred an expense of 4 lakh rent. For example, let's talk about rent. Do you think rent is expense?
Yes, sir.
Can I say this rent expense? Why am I doing? What is the purpose of giving rent? If I am having a shop, can I say the ultimate motive of having that shop is to earn income from the business?
Yes, sir.
So can I say the rent which I am paying to the owner or landlord is because I want that place and that place is helping me to earn income? So can I say this expense is helping me to earn income?
Yes.
Let's say I am paying salary to staff. Why am I paying salary to staff? So that they can do work for me, and whatever work they are doing, it is generating the income for me. So salary, can I say it is an expense which is helping me to earn the income?
Yes, sir.
So I need in accounts, I'm only concerned with those expenses which is helping me to earn income. If I go and watch a movie, I buy a ticket for movie ticket. It is an expense, but am I using it for earning the income?
No, sir.
Then this is not my business expense. This is not my expense. So in business, I'll record those expenses which is helping me to earn income. Which is helping me to earn income. This is the point. Any doubts in this point? Expenses cost incurred to earn income. To earn income or to support business. For example, I'm buying stationery. If I buy stationery, will stationery help me to increase income?
Sir,
Will
yes, sir.
stationery increase my income? No. It will help me to maintain my business. It is helping me, it is supporting. So can I say it is playing the role of a side actor? It is helping me to earn the income. So expense means anything which you incur to earn income or which helps to support the business is called expense. Any doubts here, please?
No,
Are we clear with this point?
Yes.
Now, what is profit? When do I get profit? Sir, can I say when my income is excess of income over expense? My income should be over and above expenses, then only will be profit. For example, if my sale is, let's say, 1,000 rupees, my expense is, let's say, 800 rupees. So what is my profit? 200 rupees.
no.
So what is profit? Profit is nothing but when I say, can I say excess of income over expense?
Yes, sir. Revenue.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's come to this. Sale 10,000 rupees. Purchase 3,000 rupees. Expense 2,000 rupees. Or let's say 3,000 rupees. Guys, I told you purchase is different, expense is different. This is the question. Please calculate the profit. Calculate the profit. How will I calculate?
4,000.
Can I say sale is equal to 10,000 less purchase 3,000? I'll subtract from it less expense 3,000. So what is my profit? Can I say 4,000 is my profit?
4,000. Yes, sir.
Profit is
Yes, sir.
4,000 rupees. Let's suppose my purchase is 13,000 rupees. So what will happen now? Will you get 4,000 profit?
Sir, loss, sir.
It is loss. So what is my loss?
6,000.
6,000 rupees is my loss. So are you able to understand the meaning of profit and loss?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So income, excess of income over expense is called profit. Profit is further divided into two types. One is gross profit, one is net profit. This you will understand when I take final accounts. There's a separate chapter where I'll be taking the final accounts. So in that chapter, I'll explaining what is gross profit and net profit. Now this is too early for you to understand. So let's not go into detail. But yes, profit is divided into two types. One is gross profit and net profit. Next is loss. Loss is excess of expense. Expense is more than income. Loss is again two types: gross loss and net loss. I told you I'll explain this in final accounts chapter. When I do the final accounts is basically when you will learn to do your trading profit and loss account and balance sheet. At that time, we'll learn what is gross loss and net loss. This is clear. I'll go to the next topic. Next concept. Till this, is it clear? So
Yes,
far,
sir.
so far we discussed all the terms which comes normally in trading and profit and loss account. So in trading and profit and loss account, you will come across word called sales. You'll come across word called purchase, and you'll come across called expense. So these are the major word. Then you have something called profit. Then you have something called loss. So far all these words what we discussed is something which will come in trading and profit and loss account. Correct?
Okay, sir.
Yes, there are a few other words still left. So that I'll be covering when I discuss the terms of balance sheet. So now from here on, we'll be starting to discuss the terms of balance sheet now. In balance sheet, what all is recorded is something we'll discuss. So what is balance? sheet. So in balance sheet, it will again be divided into two sides. Left side is called as liabilities and right side is called as asset.
Asset.
So we need to understand what is asset. We need to understand what is liability. Under liability, we record something called capital. Capital is one category. Okay, there's something called creditor. Creditors. Okay, there will be so many items. I'm just giving example. On the asset side, you'll have something called cash. You need to understand what is cash. You'll understand what is bank. There'll be something called stock. There'll be something called debtors. All these terms now we have to understand. So can we go first step by step? What is liabilities? What is liabilities? Liabilities are obligation or debt or amount that an enterprise has to pay sometime in near future. So what is the meaning of liabilities? What is the meaning of liability?
An amount that should be
that
paid in
balance
future.
sheet is divided into two sides. Left side is called as liability, right side is called as assets. So whatever I should record in liabilities. So liability is nothing but if anything I have to pay in future. If so liability is something, what happened to the pen? 1 second. Liability, it is something that the business has to pay in future, which means you are not paying now, you will pay in future. So anything you buy today or anything you take today, but you're not giving the money immediately now, you're paying it in the future, then it is called as liability. So liability is not one particular item, guys. It is a category. Under liability, there are so many accounts that will be opened. So liability, it's a group. It is the heading. It is the head of the group. Asset is the head of the group. So liabilities means that anything which business has to pay in future is called liabilities. It can have multiple different ways. It can have different ways in which the liability is incurred, but liability means anything which I have to pay in future. The moment if somebody says what is liability, liability means anything which I have to pay in future. And if you come across any question where it says that I'll pay in future means liability. Okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Liability or obligation or debt or amount that an enterprise has to pay sometime in near future. So liability is categorized into two types. One, it is called internal liability. Second, it is called external liability. Now what happens is, under liability, we have two categories. Let me explain you. We have two headings. So this liability asset, it is group. Under this, we have subgroup called internal liability, INTERNAL liability. And then we have something called external liability. Okay. So under internal liability, what all comes, sir? Under internal liability, we have capital. We have capital. We'll have something called reserve or accumulated profits. Okay, sir. So what does come in external liability, sir? So in external liability, it is bank loan. The loan that I take from bank, can I say I have to repay in future?
Yes.
Any money which I repay in future is called liability. Which liability? External liability. Bank loan, creditor, etc. Correct? Are you able to feel? Now we have to understand. So internal liability means what? Internal liability is a liability that the business have to pay to the owner. Now the question that comes in your mind is, sir, business and owner are same. So in your third chapter, there is a concept called accounting entity concept. Accounting entity concept. CEPT. Or it is called as business entity concept. Now what does this concept say is, this concept says is that, let's talk about Fortune Academy. Okay, let me put here as Pratik Jain. So my name is SPJ, S Pratik Jain, SPJ, and this is Fortune Academy. Now forget accounting. Tell me one thing, this Fortune Learning Academy is my academy. So do you think technically Just apply your common sense. Do you think this academy and I are different person? Forget rules and regulations, what government says. I'm just asking you.
Yes,
If I
sir.
ask who's this Fortune Academy, I'll tell it is SPJs. So technically, can I say SPJ and Fortune Academy both are same?
Same only.
Sir, linked, sir.
Yes, it is same. From our angle, it is same. But government is saying that no, please treat this as a different person. SPJ is a separate person, and Fortune Academy is a separate person. SPJ is called as natural person, and Fortune Academy is called as artificial person.
Artificial.
Why? Because now whenever we do accounting, accounting has to be done from whose angle? SPJ's angle or business angle or Fortune Academy's angle?
Business.
Accounting has to be done from academy's angle, business angle. So can I say academy will have some income, academy will have some expense, some money coming in, some money going out? So I need to record all the money coming in and going out of academy. Likewise, can I say SPJ also will get some money and pay some money and all personal capacity? If he's going movie, he's going to Annapurna for having some food. If I'm going to play bowling in the mall, so can I say even SPJ will receive some money and pay some money? So am I supposed to account all this? No. So from accounting perspective, if I don't treat both of them separate person, you will record this also and you will record this also. Then I'll not know what is business expense and what is personal expense. So that's why they told that we will treat these two people as two different person. We'll treat this as two different persons. Right? Accounting very clearly says that. Which concept says that, sir? Business entity concept and accounting entity concept says that we will treat SPJ and Fortune Academy as two different persons, even though both of them are same. Because I need accounting from whose angle? Business angle. So that is the reason we are trying to segregate it. Now, please tell me, if Fortune Academy has to run the business, it has to invest money in where and all. Can I say I need to buy furniture? Like Academy has to buy furniture.
Yes, sir.
It has to buy board. It has to buy projector and so many things, right? So to buy furniture, board and projector, academy will need money, no?
Yes, sir.
When academy is created, when Fortune Academy was created, is he automatically, as God already gifted academy with some money? So can I say Fortune Academy is not having any single penny of money? So owner, SPJ being the owner, is giving money to the academy so that academy can start functioning. So this money which SPJ is giving to Fortune Academy is called as capital. SPJ is given 2 lakh rupees to Fortune Academy. This 2 lakh money is called as capital. Okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now please tell me one thing. Tomorrow, after like 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, when this Fortune Academy is closing, can I say Fortune Academy will have to repay back this money to whom? SPJ?
No.
Why not?
All the shareholders.
Why not? Academy is after 15, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, it is closing. So whatever money capital is 2 lakh rupees is there in the business, will academy not give back to SPJ? I'm only talking about capital. Other things also will come. But let's talk about capital.
Sir, it will come back.
Any doubt in this? When you start your own business, if business is closing, tomorrow will not take the money from your business, capital from your business. So can I say this 2 lakh rupees money which owner is giving to the academy has to return this in future. Anything which I have to pay in future is called liability. So can I call this 2 lakh rupees, can I record this under liability? That is why I did. That's what we did here. Did you not record this capital under liability? Liability के नीचे तो capital लिखा है. Under liability only have you written capital, right?
Yes, sir.
What? Liability means anything that business have to pay in future. So why internal liability? Internal liability means, can I say SPJ is an internal person of the academy? Is SPJ internal person or external person? Internal person means what?
Internal.
Who is a part of the business?
Yeah.
Who is a part and the family of the business? Can I say SPJ is a family member of the business? So any money which has to be paid to the owner back, that is called as internal liability. So any money which I pay anybody other than owner, it is called external liability. Any difficulty in this?
Yes, sir.
So amount owed to owner, any amount that it is owed to owner is called internal liability. Example, capital or reserve. Reserve is nothing but accumulated profit, undistributed profit. What is accumulated profit? What is undistributed profit? What is reserve? We'll all discuss. Reserve is nothing but the profit. मान के चलो अभी के लिए it is profit. Assume as of now it is a profit, but it is not a profit. Technically, I'll explain you what is reserve. So any money which business is owing, oh, this is the technical word. If I owe to anybody, if business owe the money, owe means what? Promise to pay. If I owe money to you means I promise to pay you. So that is called internal liability. If any money is owed to outsider, it's called external liability. Which means if I take loan from bank, if business is taking loan from bank, will business not pay back the money to the banker?
Yes, sir.
Correct? So this is bank. Bank is giving loan to Fortune Academy. How much loan? 3 lakh rupees. So can I say when I receive this 3 lakh rupees, this should be recorded as liability in my books? Why I should record as liability? Because it should remind me that this is not my money and this is the money that business has to pay in future. So whenever you get this 3 lakh rupees, the moment you get this 3 lakh rupees, you record this under liability category because you need to keep telling yourself on daily basis, see, this is not your money. You have to pay to one fine day to this third party again. This is not your money. So liability will always give you a feeling that I need to pay somebody. I need to pay somebody. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Creditor. Creditor is what? Supplier. I told you, no? A supplier has given you goods, laptop worth 2 lakh rupees to Fortune Academy. Is this 2 lakh rupees coming free of cost? You did not pay the money now. You told you'll pay in future. So can I say this 2 lakh rupees you'll pay in future? Yes or no?
Yes.
You'll pay in this future or not? So this 2 lakh rupees when you record as purchase, it along with purchase, it should be recorded under liability also, because when you record under liability, it will give you the remembrance that, oh yes, I need to pay him 2 lakh rupees. So anything which you record under liability, it will keep on reminding you, see, you need to pay, wake up, you need to pay, come on, you need to pay. So that is the importance and significance of liability. Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Liability is further classified into non-current liability and current liabilities. This is something which is not required as of now. So I'm skipping now. Maybe sometime in between I'll get an opportunity, I'll explain you. This is the concept which you'll understand much better in 12th standard. So I don't want to give too much information, because if I give too much information, you'll get confused. So skip this portion as of now. So what is the example of liability? Capital, debenture, creditor, bills payable, bank loan, bank overdraft, borrowing. All this thing will be learning one by one. What is the meaning of capital? We'll learn here. What is the meaning of debenture? We'll learn. What is the meaning of creditor? We have a separate point. What is bills payable, bank loan, bank overdraft, borrowing? Everything have a separate point. So what?
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yes, boss.
Sir, can you repeat once again the meaning of debenture?
Debenture I have not yet told. Debenture is again a money. Debenture I have not explained. I have not explained debenture. I'll explain debenture separately.
Okay, sir.
As of now, I explained you what is liability. Liability means any money that I will require to pay in future.
Yes.
So if I have to pay to the owner, it is called internal liability. If I have to pay anything apart from owner, it is called external liability. So what is capital? We discussed. Capital is an amount which is invested in the business by whom? By a sole proprietor. Now let's understand capital. Are you clear why capital is coming under liability?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question is, okay, you also understood by now what is the meaning of a sole proprietor. Sorry, what is the meaning of a capital? I explained you what is the meaning of capital. What is capital?
Sir, it is
a money given by owner to the business. Capital is the money which is given by owner to the business so that business can start running. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what
Yes,
we are
sir.
trying to understand is, in India, how many ways you can do business? There's so many ways. The first method of doing business is called, you can start a sole proprietorship business. sole proprietorship business. In sole proprietorship business, this is SPJ is the owner and Fortune Academy is the business. So SPJ is called as a sole proprietor. Proprietor. This is called, he's called a sole. Sole means what? Single. Proprietor means what? Owner. Sole means single. Proprietor means owner, businessman, single businessman, owner or business man. Okay. Fortune Academy is called sole proprietorship business. Proprietorship business. So sole proprietorship means what? Only one owner. Only one owner. So when SPJ invests money in the Fortune Academy, it is called capital. It is called as capital. Sole proprietor's capital. It is called as sole proprietor's capital. Capital is an amount invested in the business by sole proprietor or the sole owner in case of proprietorship business. This is first point. Any doubt in this first point?
No, sir.
Second is, now what if I want to do partnership with Nikhil and Ayush also? So now who is the owner? So now we have the concept of partnership. Partnership. Partnership is where SPJ is owner plus Nikhil is owner plus Ayush is owner. So how many owners?
3.
3 owners are now investing in Fortune Academy. So the amount what you invest is called capital, but it is not simply called as capital. It is called partners capital. Why partners capital? Because SPJ is called as one partner, Nikhil is called as another partner, and Ayush is called as another partner. Each one of us will be called as partner. So the amount what we invest is called partners capital. Out of this. In your 11th standard, you will be learning how to do accounting for a sole proprietorship business. When you come to 12th standard, you learn to do accounting for partnership firm and for company accounts. Company. You getting my point? So capital is the amount invested in the business by a partner or owner in case of partnership business. So that is called as partners capital, and that will be called as partners capital. Okay. Capital is an amount invested by in the business by shareholder. So if you are forming a company instead of partnership, if you are forming a company now, if you have formed a company, okay. So in that we have SPJ, we have Ayush plus Nikhil. If you are investing money in the Fortune Academy, and if Fortune Academy happens to be a company now, then SPJ is called as shareholder, Ayush is called as shareholder, and Nikhil is also called as shareholder. Now you must be wondering, sir, what is the difference between company and partnership? This I'll explain you when we do 12th standard. This is not there in currently in the syllabus. So the money which the shareholders invest, this is called capital, shareholders capital. It's called as shareholders capital. Even this is also capital. Even that is also called as capital. So now the capital which the owner invests in the business, is it necessary that it has to be only cash, or it can be in something apart from cash also? For example, let's talk about SPJ. SPJ is starting an academy called Fortune's Fun Learning Academy. So to start this academy, I need, let's suppose I need furniture. I need 3 to 4 whiteboard to write it. I need projector also to project sometimes. I need laptop, everything. So all this thing will totally cost me. All this thing put together will totally cost me, let's suppose 5 lakh rupees. 5 lakh rupees. Now SPJ has got only 4 lakh rupees in hand. SPJ has got only 4 lakh rupees in hand. So SPJ is giving 4 lakh rupees as what? Capital. 4 lakh as capital.
Yes, sir.
So with this 4 lakh rupees, I am buying furniture and board and projector. I don't have sufficient money for laptop. Without laptop, I cannot run academy. So can I stop the business? SPJ is not having 4 lakh. He's got only 4 lakh money. He does not have extra 1 lakh. But SPJ has got laptop at home, and this laptop requirement is matching. So apart from 4 lakh rupees capital, which is giving in cash is giving one laptop in kind. So even this laptop which is giving in kind is also called as capital. So it is not necessary that capital should be only in cash. It can be in cash as well as in kind. Kind means what? Physical item. So capital can be both in cash or kind. Kind means asset having monetary value. Asset means goods having monetary value. Can I say this laptop what I've purchased, it is for 1.2 lakh rupees or 1 lakh rupees. So I will, when I record this capital, when I record this capital in the business, I will record cash capital is 4 lakh. Then my kind capital is 1.2 lakh. So total is 5.2 lakh. So 5.2 lakh is my total capital. My total capital is 5.2 lakh. So the capital which is there in cash, the capital which is given in cash is 4 lakh. The capital which is given in kind is called as 1.2 lakhs. So I need to record in terms of money. I need to measure in terms of money. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, not okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, you have done business for last 10 years. Now the business is closing here. And the business is closing, what all you take back home? Can I say the money which you invested as capital, will you take that capital back home?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Only capital you will take back home, or will you also take profit home?
Both, sir.
Both. So can I say capital is always added with profit so that I will know what is my total amount?
Yes, sir.
So profit from the business will get added to the capital. That's why I said you that when I said to you that amount owed to the owner is called internal liability, which is capital plus reserve. Reserve, I said you that for the moment, please treat it as profit. So it means capital plus profit. So profit ultimately, which is coming in trading and P&L account, I said you that when I prepare my trading and profit and loss account, I get my profit. This profit has to be added in the balance sheet. In the balance sheet, under the liability side, when you record capital, along with this capital, you need to add this. So profit will always get added to the capital. Even if you remember, well and good. If you don't remember, not a problem, because when we do sums, you will automatically understand this. I know it is too much of information, but yes, we have to do this. Profit from the business gets added to the capital. Any doubts in this point?
No, sir.
In drawing. Now what happened is, SPJs invested money in the business. How much money? 5.2 lakh or 5 lakh rupees invested, for example. SPJ has given capital to the business. How much? 5 lakh rupees to Fortune's Fun Learning Academy. Now SPJ is urgent in requirement of money. So he's taking the money from this 5 lakh rupees. SPJ is taking the money, let's say 2 lakh rupees from this 5 lakh. Now please tell me, can I say the balance capital become 3 lakh rupees in future? The business will pay you. First you paid, SPJ paid 5 lakh to Fortune's Fun Learning Academy. So the liability is 5 lakh. From this 5 lakh, SPJ has already taken 2 lakh. Can I say the balance liability is 3 lakh? This is called internal liability.
Yes.
SPJ has given 5 lakh rupees as capital. After 2 years, SPJ has taken 2 lakh rupees as from 5 lakh. So balance will it will be automatically 3 lakh, no? So what is happening? Drawings and loss from the business will get subtracted from capital. Now let's just explain drawing. Drawing means what? Any money. Drawing means any money which the owner withdraws from the business. Withdraws from the business is called drawings. So this will get subtracted from capital. Second, another way of looking at this. SPJ gave to Fortune's Fun Learning Academy 5 lakh rupees as capital. And during the year, the business has earned a profit of 3 lakh rupees. I said your profit has to be added to the capital. Can I say the balance capital is 8 lakh rupees?
Yes, sir.
From this 8 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees you have withdrawn. So will I minus from this 8 lakh or not?
Minus, sir.
Minus 8 lakh,
Minus.
so that business is telling you that, see boss, initially you give 5 lakh rupees, so my liability is, internal liability is 5 lakh. After that, you earn profit of 3 lakh rupees. So this is also internal liability. So total internal liability is 8 lakh. From this 8 lakh, you have drawn 2 lakh. So what is the balance internal liability? 6 lakh. Correct? Now, this is profit you added. In case 3 lakh was loss. Loss means you will subtract. If profit, if you add, will you not minus the loss? Will you not minus the loss?
Sir, minus, sir.
That's all. This is the concept of capital. These are the main points with regard to capital. Even if you don't remember also, nothing to worry, because even if you don't want to remember also, from here till your 12th standard, we'll be discussing this continuously again and again. Even if you say no sir, I want to forget also, this will keep on coming in the sums and it will automatically go in your mind. So I completed till this in last Sunday. Till last Sunday I completed till this. So take a break of 5 minutes, probably by 10 minutes you can take break. 7:20 sharp will start. Ayush, Nikhil, comfortable or is it too much speed?
No, sir,
Sir,
comfortable.
comfortable, sir.
Everything is meaningfully explained?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So immediately what you have to do is, tomorrow, or maybe if you get time today, okay, you don't have the document, right? I'll send this document to you. You'll have to recollect this or else you'll forget it. I'll send this document. Remind me after the class. I'll just WhatsApp in the group.
Okay, sir.
Cool. So take a break. Hi, Smriti.
Hi, sir.
How are you, beta?
I'm fine, sir.
Good.